ridiculous. There's a lot of hippies around here, you know. I had a conversation with my grandma the other day, and I realized she's a hippie, you know. But she's also like an old school Italian woman, you know, which are two very conflicting identities. So she'll say funny things sometimes, like, I'm an empath. I'll go, what does that mean? She's like, are you fucking stupid? It means I can sense other people's emotion. You're not a person. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I do love this community, but you know, there's weird stuff that goes on around here. You know, like there's this new movement. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called Free the Pit. People expressing their body odor. Yeah, I don't get that. You know, free the pit. What about take a shower? You know? Telling me about the medical benefits of different herbs and plants. What about the medical benefits of soap, dog? Like, can't get a break. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. What's their plan? Do they think like that a goddess can smell? They prefer oat milk to almond. You know? I don't get it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so weird around here, you don't even notice anymore. You know, I was at the river the other day, and I saw a granola boy butt chugging ketamine in the sunshine. Singing, I'm an island boy. Oh man, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I love going out to the river though. I don't know how you guys feel. I think it's hard exposing new people to the river. Like, I'll give you a true story. One time I was taking out my Christian girlfriend out to Hoyt's Crossing. It's about a mile walk, super nice, you know. And the whole time we're walking, she's just like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, you know. That's bad from a Christian girl, you know, on a date. I'm like, we finally get up to the head of the trail. You know, I've been telling her I've been coming here my whole life. It's super beautiful. And her jaw drops. You know, the sun is out, it's sparkling. And I'm a little chopped, you know. And then all I see is a man, fully naked, bent over in downward dog. That fucks my picnic date, you know? Maybe I can save this with a PB&J. So I'm like trying to run her away, you know, making corny jokes, like, isn't it booty full, you know? And this guy, he comes up to us. You know, imagine how awkward that is for me as her boyfriend, but imagine how awkward that is for her. This is a young Christian girl. This might be the first time in her life she's ever seen a dick. This lucky bastard. She won't even look at mine. And he comes up, and the only thing he says to us, guys, the only thing he says is, thank you and good night. Like it was a one-man performance. Public nudity in front of two minors, you know. My girlfriend has lifelong trauma. I got a self-esteem boost. It was cold outside to be... But we were leaving. You know, I find out the patron saint of the Yuba is a creepy nudist. We make our way out to the cars, you know. And all my girlfriend has to say to me is, thank you and good night. So I've been single for about a year now. I've been trying to find somebody. I went on Tinder the other day, and it was a little awkward. I matched with a polyamorous couple that owned a bird shop. So I don't know. I was trying to be charismatic, so I said something kind of dumb. I was like, "Does Polly want a cracker?" And they got incredibly offended. They took it wrong. They actually were disgusted with me. So they said, yeah, actually, we don't really want to be with someone who has views like you. And they're white. Okay. You know, imagine they have a loveless relationship, and they bring in a stranger to spice things up by fucking him, and I'm the weird one? I'm like, no? So the husband, he texted me, and he was like, yeah, we can't have you because, you know, my wife doesn't respect your views. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense because your wife doesn't respect you. That's why you hit me up. Oh, it's ridiculous. Do you guys like weed? Woo! Yeah, right? Who doesn't love weed? I love smoking weed. I get tired of defending smoking weed nowadays, you know? Like, I got in an argument with this old weed-hating guy, right? He was like, weed is a drug. And I was like, well, it's medicinal. It's good for chronic pain, and no one's OD'd from it. He said, well, it still impairs your driving. I said, so does alcohol, and they sell it everywhere. He was like, sir, get the fuck out of the car with your hands behind your back. Oh, you need a joint, dog. You know, weed is such a big part of this community, at least it was. You know, everyone I knew either smoked, sold, or grew weed. My dad did all three, and now the game is terrible. You know, you can't make any money. My dad told me the other day, he tried to sell 3 pounds, and the guy offered him a bag of goji berries and a goat. My dad was like, the market's rebounding, son. Got some goji berries? Bad, dude. And it's still good weed. That's the crazy part. Like, I smoke it. The other day I was smoking it, and I was just trying to write something funny, you know, just something funny in my journal. And I smoked a little too much, you know. I'm having, like, elevation problems, sitting on the couch, like this. Like, I have to melt to the floor now. I'm like, you know. I wake up from this haze the next morning, you know, and all I see in my journal are 2 words. Something funny. That's good-ass weed, you know. God. I realize, too, I have a history of family anxiety when I smoke weed, you know. My family says things about me, and it makes me incredibly anxious, you know. Things like, you could be taller, you should go back to school, why is your dick out, and can't be me. You have to love your family, though, you know. There's so many things you can learn from your family. Like, watching my grandparents together has showed me that men and women love differently, right? Like, if my grandma died, my grandpa would be in denial. But if my grandpa died, my grandma would be in the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? She'd be enjoying herself, you know? And I remember one time, you know, my grandma got sick and my grandpa was at her beck and call, you know, doing everything for her. And when my grandpa got sick at the hospital, my grandma gave me a call from the nail salon. I was like, Grandma, aren't you supposed to be with the love of your... She was like, Zonnie, I'll be honest with you, he's really bumming me out right now. Okay, you know. It's hard watching the people you love get old, you know. My grandpa, you know, he's senile. But I am proud for the first time in my life to say his behavior is presidential. So. Joe Biden is a lot like my grandpa, you know. They say awkward things in public, you know, might trip on a pair of stairs, you know. Brush a girl's hair they don't know. Grandpa, that's not ridiculous. You know, I get it, guys. You know, it's hard to watch Joe Biden up on stage. He's like, I think we need to defend Ukraine. Do we have chocolate ice cream? I want chocolate ice cream. My grandpa's on the couch like, man, I like Joe Biden. And I love chocolate ice cream. It's ridiculous. He's the worst polling president we've ever had, right? Well, the last guy put his name on a steak. Well, I think it's funny, though, because some people come up to me and they say, well, Zonnie, what would the founding fathers think? What would the founding fathers think if they saw Joe Biden running this country? And I'm like, if the founding fathers were here, they'd probably be like, why the fuck are women in the building? Black people got a full vote, not another fifth. Contextually, guys, this is a different time, you know? So gender's weird. Sorry if that's an awkward transition, wink, wink. Yeah, I was at a party the other day, and I got a little blackout, you know, and my friend was talking about gender, and he said, you know, I realized something. You know, when you black out, it's almost like your real self comes out, like your subconscious comes out, like an inner part of yourself you didn't know. And my friend said, well, if that's true, my biggest fear when I black out is someone will say I'm gay. So I think we need to have a chat about that, dog. I don't think that's the alcohol, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I catch you sucking dick after 2 Jaeger bombs, like, this isn't the real me! You know? Oh my God, you know? But I got a little wasted too, and I ended up in his bed the next morning. Because it turns out my biggest fear is being lonely. Oh, man. Yeah, I feel lonely sometimes, and I think it's because of social media. You know, social media makes you bitter, makes you resentful. People just post things as they can. You know, I saw this girl I know named Katie. She posted she was like, I'm officially a SoCal girl, which makes sense, because unofficially, for 18 years, she's been a bitch. Oh my God, man. It's ridiculous. People on social media, they complain all the time. You notice it? I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough followers. Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. He only had 12 followers. You know, my grandma talks about him at the dinner table every night. I'm like, you're complaining? You know, Jesus Christ, you know? I don't like getting too touchy about religion. It seems you guys don't either, but it's okay if the priests do it. Oh man. No, it is funny though. I've heard Christians say to me before, you know, don't worry about death, because when you die, you get to spend the rest of eternity with your family in bliss. And I ask, what happens if you're good? Sounds pretty bad to me. Whole family? Yeah, it's ridiculous, you know. I don't like talking about things like death. I don't like thinking about it a lot. You know, I was talking with my girlfriend actually the other day, and it got kind of emotional. And she asked me, you know, is there anything that would drive you to suicide? And I said, if you died, right? And she thought that was romantic. Yeah, she thought that was sweet, you know? And I was confused, because in my mind I was like, what's romantic about murder-suicide? Oh, Jesus Christ, you know? Oh, it's ridiculous. I ran into a white supremacist the other day. It was really, really weird, a really weird encounter. I see this guy and he's complaining. I think most people should be able to complain, but maybe not everyone should be doing it, you know? He's talking about all his problems. And he was telling me how he can't even get a birthday cake for his son. His son turned 10, and they can't even write his name on the birthday cake. And I was like, why? What's his name? He said, Adolf Hitler. Jesus Christ, you know? Can you imagine this kid is coming home from school getting bullied for all the right reasons, you know? And then his dad has to be there and like, don't listen to him, Adolf. You can take the world by storm, you know? Oh my God. I thought about that, you know? If his son is named Adolf Hitler, you know, like, what if he grows up and goes to school, right? And learns how terrible his name is, you know, what it means, how bad it is, and he decides to change it. He changes the impact. Let's say Adolf Hitler goes to school and it turns out he cures cancer. So now Adolf Hitler cured cancer. So now everyone's like, we love Adolf, you know? The president would be like, oh yeah, Adolf's a great guy. We don't have cancer anymore, you know? The only problem is the cure doesn't work for Jewish people. Because you have to honor your fathers. Oh my gosh. That's bad. I feel like we all had sex and it's the morning over and I'm still making breakfast. Get the fuck off already. Oh man. Wow. What a night. I'll finish it on this. I was on social media and I realized you have so much information at your fingertips that it's almost impossible to have like a hero because we know too much about them, right? Like my hero, Mahatma Gandhi, he changed India. He was able to free his people from British control through peaceful protest. And my friend said, yeah, well, Gandhi slept with his underage cousins. And I was like, dude, we can like him for different reasons. Thank you and good night. Please welcome back to your host, Michaela King. Keep it going.